There is a change coming in College Station, Texas. It looks like Bobby Petrino is set to be the next offensive coordinator for the Texas A&M Aggies. A lot of different directions to go with this, a lot to unpack with this. But Bobby Petrino is going to be not just the OC, because they've had those in College Station under Jimbo Fisher. He's going to be the play caller. Okay, so OC and play caller, not always married together. In this situation, it is reported that he will be calling plays for A&M this upcoming season. A lot of takeaways, like I already mentioned. But the first thought that I had when I read this headline was, whoa, like I can't believe this is a real thing that's happening. I didn't have this on my radar at all. The second was, good for Jimbo Fisher. I mean, genuinely, good for Jimbo Fisher to have the self-awareness and to have the humility to make this kind of a move. Because a lot of people, myself included, watched what happened in 2022 on the offensive side of the football, and consistently, it became more and more evident that the problem offensively may lie with the offense itself, may lie with the play caller, may lie with the strategy. And for a guy like Jimbo Fisher, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that there is likely some sense of pride that he takes in being able to call plays. They're paying him a lot of money in College Station. I would imagine some of that money goes with his play calling abilities. And so for him to understand, hey, what we're doing right now, what I'm doing right now isn't working, and to take that slice of humble pie, to pass that responsibility to another man, to allow him to do that job potentially better for the betterment of his program, that's very admirable. Very, very impressive. And I think that should be one thing that we definitely know in this whole hire. Regardless of what you think about Bobby Petrino, we'll get to that in a second. Sort of. This is impressive by Jimbo Fisher. And leaders lead with humility. This is a humble move by Jimbo Fisher. If you have not yet subscribed, now is the time. We got you covered, man. Coaching changes, transfer portal, recruiting, national title game about to go down. Nick Brake and I going to be there. Lock in with us. There's a lot of fun to be had here over the next few months. Games are going to end. I promise you this show will continue to march on because of you and because of your demand for college football content year-round. So thank you in advance for that. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Piquel. A lot of interaction that we have on those platforms we can then incorporate into this program that you want to see live and live in color Tuesday and Thursday, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. It's a lot. You got all that? Beautiful. Let's keep on rolling, shall we? Something had to change, man. Something had to change. A&M, from a personnel perspective, was far too talented, recruited far too well to put forth the production on the field they've been doing. 22 points a game, good for 97th in the country. They only got 131 teams, y'all. 1.5 turnovers a game. Also, not very good. And that would be a little bit more acceptable if you look at A&M's roster and you say, okay, they're still trying to figure things out. They don't have the personnel to get it done. They're out there with a couple of 2 and 3 stars. Okay, give them some time. Y'all, they haven't been outside the top 10 in recruiting in terms of class rankings since 2019 or 2018, I guess, was the last time they were outside the top 10. You hear what I'm saying here? They recruit really well. And so the personnel shouldn't have been the issue. You can have a whole conversation about development and how much they have exceeded at doing that or exceeded expectations at doing that, rather been successful. That's a conversation we can have. But the bottom line, the Jimmies and the Joes was never the problem. And the metaphor I always used was, if you have a really brilliant class of students, I mean, you just off the charts intelligence, but you keep giving them a test and time again, they keep failing that test. Is it the student's fault or is it the teacher's fault? First test, it might be the student's fault. That's fair to say. But after a 12-game sample size, it may be the teacher's fault. And so for them to make this change, I think it was needed. We all thought that it would come in some way, shape, or form, but it has arrived in the shape of Bobby Petrino. Now, I want to also make sure we make note of this. Jimbo Fisher is not on the hot seat at Texas A&M, but there is a lot of expectation around what he will do with that program going forward. And they have built to it now for a few years, and they went 5-7 this past year. So they need to see something substantial on the field, need to see something of worth on the field. Otherwise, there may eventually become a seat where you turn the seat warmer on just a little bit. All right? So what I want to say here is Jimbo Fisher is betting on Bobby Petrino. He is betting on Bobby Petrino to get the results that are expected in College Station. And I would venture to believe that a place like A&M and a coach like Jimbo Fisher had some options. Regardless of what you want to say about what they did on the field, there is a lot of coaches, I'm assuming, that would be very much so at least interested in hearing what the good people in College Station have to say about their offensive coordinator position to them. I think they had other options. So the fact that he chose Bobby Petrino, hey, that's Jimbo Fisher's guy. Let's roll. Bobby Petrino, regardless of what you want to say about the motorcycle incident and his personal life, has been a successful football coach. Took Louisville and Arkansas to their first BCS bowl games. He was at UNLV for all of like 15 minutes this past offseason, was at Missouri State before that. He's coached some ball. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about the personal life. I'm not here to talk about the motorcycle incident. I just want to make sure that we have it on record and have me talking to you about this on record, that Jimbo Fisher had options, could have gone elsewhere, I would imagine, and is going Bobby Petrino. So we're going to get to see all this play itself out on the field. That's the beautiful part about it. They eventually play the games. They decide it between the white lines, but credit Jimbo Fisher for showing the humility to hire another man to do the job that needs to be done in College Station. The pressure now will fall on Bobby Petrino's shoulders, just like it does Jimbo Fisher's. It's now a shared effort, and I can't wait to watch this unfold. Should be a whole lot of fun because they expect results, and they expect results soon in College Station. They recruit too well. They have too many resources. They have too much going for them to miss bowl games. And Bobby Petrino, in theory, will be their answer to that issue. But we will keep it locked and loaded here on the On3 YouTube channel on the Hard Count. Like I said, live on Tuesdays, live on Thursdays, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Come hang out, man. One of the best things to do on this program, involve y'all into it, have the interaction. Can also do that on my Twitter page and on my Instagram page at JDPacal on both those accounts. So fired up. So fired up. We have the national title game coming, and we'll have a lot of content for you there from Los Angeles. Make sure you're locked and loaded for all that. Make sure that you're staying up with us because there's a lot of content coming your way. So fired to enjoy it all with y'all. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.